guys, so for this video I'm going to summarize the chapter 6. So chapter 6 of Nagpapan. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. So chapter 6, chapter 5, it is focused on Ethernet and what other related things are connected to Ethernet, or how Ethernet works. So but before we discuss other part of Ethernet, please, we're going to define first what is Ethernet. So Ethernet, it is a most widely used LAN technology today. So it operates in the data link layer and the physical layer. It is a family of network technologies that are defined in the IEEE 802.2 and 802.3 standards. So chapter 3 also involves the Ethernet evolution. So the first Ethernet is created in 1973. So since then it evolved to become faster and flexible. So it become easier for the user because it become faster and more flexible, or you can use it everywhere. So this ability for Ethernet to improve over time is one of the main reasons it has become popular. So because of it has a faster way of innovation, it becomes popular to the industry. So early versions of Ethernet were relatively 10 Mbps. So 10 Mbps is slow, or the because it's just it's slow. Then the latest version of Ethernet operates at 10 gigabits per second and faster. So as of now, Ethernet it works faster in 10 gigabit Ethernet and more. So like in the abroad, or in the international, Ethernet maybe works 100 gigabit per second. So then chapter 5 also discussed data encapsulation. So this process includes frame assembly before transmission and frame disassembly upon reception of a frame. Informing the frame, the MAC layer adds a header and a trailer to the network layer PDU, or the product data unit. So chapter 5 also includes the Ethernet frame. So the minimum size of Ethernet frame is 64 bytes and the maximum is 1518 bytes. Ethernet also involves or have the MAC address. So MAC address, it has 6 bytes, where the 3 first bytes are used for vendor identification and the last 3 bytes must be assigned to unique value within the same OUI, and MAC addresses are implemented in hardware. A NIC or network uh, interface card needs a MAC address to communicate over the LAN. The IEE regulates the MAC addresses. So, Ethernet also have or involves a switching method. So, there are two two switching method, which is the store and forward and the cut through. So store and forward, when we use the store and forward switching method, the switch receives the complete frame before forwarding it on to the destination. The cyclic redundancy check, or the CRC, part of the trailer is used to determine if the frame has been modified during the transit. So, in contrast, or if we use the cut-through method, switch forwards the frame once the destination layer 2 address is read. So there are two types of cut-through method. So the one is the fast forward and the other one is the fragment free. So there is what we call the run frame. Run frame is a frame of fewer than 64 bytes, usually generated by a collision or a network interface failure. And then there is what we call ARP spoofing. So ARP spoofing is a technique that is used to send fake ARP messages to other hosts in LAN. The aim is to associate IP addresses to the wrong MAC addresses. So ARP spoofing is like it's like virus or the bugs. It's like that. So it's like hacking. So it is poisoning technique used by an attacker to reply to an ARP request for an IPv4 address belonging to another device, such as the default gateway. So there is also the what we call buffering. So buffering, it is a technique used by Ethernet switches to store frames until they can be transmitted. With port-based buffering, frames are stored in the queues that are linked to specific incoming and outgoing ports. So aside from those, Ethernet also have a switch ARP table. So switch ARP table keeps a mapping layer 2 MAC addresses to layer 3 IP addresses. These mappings can be learned by the switch dynamically through ARP or statistically through manual configuration. So chapter 5 also tackles about the MDX or auto MDIX, which is a feature that enables the latest Cisco switches and that allows the switch to detect and use whatever type of cable is attached to a specific port. So Auto MDIX is one that detects what cable is connected to the Ethernet.